be nice and chilly. Temperatures dipping into the mid-50s for us.
A sweater.
Yeah, a sweater, maybe a light jacket, maybe some layering for the first few hours of the day. Trust me, you won't need it for all day as temperatures climb into the 80s, but looks like I lost my camera there. All right, our pollen count looks like this. Ragweed, juniper are at a high count. I know you're going to be out and about enjoying today, but this is something that you have to be mindful of, especially if you are sensitive to ragweed or juniper. Juniper sometimes does give the same reaction as mountain cedar pollen, even though it's not the season yet for it. Elm at a moderate, fungus at a low count. Our fire danger today, like we mentioned at the top of the hour, it's at a high or elevated. And what that means is that today is one of those days where grass fires tend to start easily. And if they do start, will spread quickly. It's because of the winds that are out of the northeast gusting over 20 miles per hour. That tends to bring down the humidity, generally lower than 30%, and just the dry vegetation that's in place from the lack of rainfall that we've had. The last hour or so, we've had wind gusts that are close to 30 miles per hour, especially east of DFW. Our cold front has cleared the area. It's well to the southeast now. Behind the front is where we saw our temperatures drop into the mid to low 60s this morning. A few locations even in the 50s, mainly to the northwest of the Metroplex. But for right now, it's 75 degrees in McKinney, 73 in Denton, and into the upper 60s for the northwestern counties. About 74 degrees right now in Dallas. Today we make it to 80 degrees for Dallas, Fort Worth, and in McKinney, about 78 in Denton, as well as in Decatur. We're running about 3 degrees warmer than what's considered normal for this time of the year. And every day through the rest of the week, we'll see that temperature climb. In fact, by Friday, when we make it to 84 degrees, we'll be close to 10 degrees warmer than what's considered normal for this time of the year. Here's that front that we're tracking. That's what's going to help bring us our next best opportunity for rain. And it does mainly hold off until Friday night. I do think we'll see a few scattered showers in the area Thursday and Friday, but widespread rain expected Friday night into Saturday. At this point, the threat for severe weather does look low, but let me talk you through that. This is Thursday around 3 in the afternoon. You see mostly dry conditions. We'll see a little bit of rain late Thursday into Friday, mainly along our western counties. That's as the front approaches. And with that front, we'll see the potential for rain kind of going up late Friday into Saturday. So I'm going to take you to Friday night around 7 p.m. because that's when a lot of the Friday night football games are going on. Right now, it does look like a few locations do have to watch for the potential of rain. So again, keep checking back in for that. We'll have to be watching for Friday night lights. This is very late Friday going into Saturday morning. That front makes it into the Metroplex, and at this point, we could see heavy rain at times, so we'll have to watch for that. And at that point, we could also see some gusty winds with some of the thunderstorms that do take shape. Now, those storms, like I said, very low end threat for severe weather. Right now, we're not under any kind of highlighted risk area for the potential of that. And after that rain moves out, temperatures will generally be in the upper 70s. So again, the next several days will be trending warmer than normal for the afternoons. The mornings will still be chilly, especially tomorrow morning, a low of 54 degrees. It'll be a nice cool and crisp morning. Temperatures will eventually go to the upper 70s on Saturday, near 80 degrees on Sunday. And the next week, we got a couple of days of 60s leading up to Halloween. And as of now, Halloween looking really nice. A high near 72 degrees. By the time trick-or-treating happens, temperatures will be in the 60s.
Check it out. Over the next 5 days, we've got some rain chances on the map. Starting off this afternoon, some of you may have already seen the rain, a 30% chance. We do stay dry for our Wednesday and our Thursday, and then cranking up more moisture in the atmosphere, 20% chance for an isolated shower Friday. But look at Saturday, significant rain across the area. That should help us put a dent in chipping away at the drought monitor. Here's a look at radar right now. So there's the front. Once this actually clears the area, we will see the return of lower humidity. I know that will be a welcome sight. We'll see some lower temperatures as well, and no rain, at least for a few days, for those outdoor plans. Check it out. Right now, zooming in on a pocket of some heavier rain near Bunker Hill Village and Hunters Creek. Let's move along with this cell, and it's starting to give us a little bit of rain for the north side of the Loop and the Beltway, so the North Freeway down to Airline Drive. That's looking a little bit messy, but you'll notice pretty quiet showers, so there's no lightning out there. I'm not hearing any thunder. Harrisburg, seeing a pocket of heavier rain. It's pretty isolated. And then more widespread rain for Belford Street, Cullen Boulevard, near Brookhaven. So this particular cell already passed through the downtown area, now starting to sag south. Speaking of, I will be looking at showers pushing south along the Gulf Freeway throughout the afternoon and evening as that front makes its way to the coastline. Right now, just a pocket of isolated showers near the bay, but you'll notice the models are really starting to favor some more coastal activity throughout the next few hours. So that's a snapshot at 4. We'll still see some isolated rain in and around Harris County, some pockets of heavier rain working down through League City into Galveston, and then that is it. As the front makes its exit, it will take the humidity along with it. Right now, though, those dew points are in the 70s, so it is very, very humid, tropical even, for what it feels like outside. Tomorrow, those dew points are going to drop into the much more comfortable range, dare I say even a little bit dry. It's not going to last us too long, though, as we increase humidity for this weekend and the incoming front. Live look from our camera at Hotel Zaza. This is looking towards the Med Center. Nice, beautiful day if you can stand the heat and humidity, because that 87 actually feels like 95. Oh yeah, that muggy summer type feel is with us this afternoon. It's 2 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. The breeze out of the west at 10 miles an hour. Throughout the afternoon, you're going to see plenty of cloud cover. Stick around, and some of those clouds squeezing out a chance for some rain. 92 is going to be your high temperature today. Behind the front, a significant drop in temperatures. We will be in the low to mid 80s for our Wednesday, and then approaching the upper 80s for our Thursday. Both days with a mixture of sun and clouds, but I think more sun than anything for our Wednesday. Now, while we still don't have rain on Thursday, by Friday we do welcome back in at least an isolated rain chance at 20%, and then hiking it up to a widespread rain chance on our Saturday, 70%. Some of that moisture could linger into early Sunday. Now, something to be said about Saturday's rain, because we could see repeated rounds in the morning, afternoon, and evening, there is already an excessive rain outlook. So there's a risk for some ponding, localized high water spots. We can't rule out the possibility of some isolated street flooding as well. That threat is low, though. It's a 1 on the 1 to 4 scale, marginal risk across southeast Texas. That is from this incoming front that is going to squeeze out some energy, not just here in southeast Texas, but across Louisiana. Gives us a nice dry start to the week, next week. But by the middle of it, Tuesday into Wednesday, a stronger front arrives, and that one should actually cool us off a little bit better, bringing us some nice fall temps. So for this time of year, we should be right at 81 degrees. We are going to be cooler tomorrow, but still trending a few degrees above what's average. Through Friday, upper 80s. Behind this front, we're going to see the upper 70s to low 80s, so seasonable or a few degrees below that. We ramp up temps a little bit for the start of the week and then shave them down considerably. Look at that. By the middle of next week, we could be looking at highs in the mid 70s. I cannot wait for that. It should be time already. Come on. We are approaching the end of October. End of hurricane season, though, isn't until November 30th. And so we are still ticking off the names on the list. This morning, we checked off Tropical Storm Melissa. Here's a look at it now. Pretty robust convective field, starting to shrink down a little bit, but definitely impressive for a tropical storm. Winds at 50 miles an hour. It's moving west at 14, and it is going to make its run towards Haiti and the Dominican Republic as we go into the end of the week and the start of the weekend. The National Hurricane Center has this becoming a high-end tropical storm by tomorrow. and then jumping up to a Cat 1 hurricane by the start of the weekend. And that is when it's expected to make its landfall somewhere near Haiti, potentially the Dominican Republic, maybe even tracking a little bit further west. However, it's not going to track too much closer because of those fall fronts that I just talked to you about. This time of year, they also serve as a protective layer here for the continental U.S. So they are very important for a number of different reasons, steering systems away from us, either towards the east or towards the west, closer to Central America. So that is that. The 7-day forecast shows we've got a lot of variability, a lot of different changes. If you like the warm, muggy feel, you're going to get that a few days. If you like the drier, no rain feel, you also have that in store. And then if you're looking for a little bit of an excuse to just stay nuzzled in, enjoying the rain, I think Saturday is going to be the day to do that. I might cancel all my plans and just enjoy the comfort of my own home, as it looks to be pretty messy on Saturday. 70% chance for downpours that could lead to isolated street flooding. That's going to want to be a day that you try to limit the amount of time that you spend on the roads. Sunday, though, we're back up and Adams doing all our errands and whatever else we need to get to. Only a 20% chance for an isolated shower in the morning, and heading to work on Monday should be just fine. Remember, this is the 7-day. The 10-day extended outlook does give us the mid-70s by the middle of the week. So that'll be something to look forward to.
And right now it's trending a little cooler for the holiday at the end of October. So about 10 days away for us. And have we seen cooler weather in historical past? As a matter of fact, in 2019 was one of the coolest Halloweens on record based on morning lows. It was 34 degrees. Back in Halloween 2019, 2020, 41, 2009, 41. These are actually since 2000, so in the last couple of decades. So it just shows you what's possible in years past, and hopefully we get in on some of that action and some cooler weather later this month. All right, it's warm outside. Normal high this time of year is 81. We're at 83. It's already lunchtime. Feels like 86. Winds are light at 3 miles an hour, and here are temperatures across the area. We're in the mid to upper 70s across let's say parts of Kendall County, towards Kerrville, towards Fredericksburg at 75, 83 in the city, and already up to 90 in some locations towards like the Corpus Christi area, towards the beach and towards the coastal bend. All right, so today's forecast, we have a weak front that'll move through later today. It's not going to be a powerful front, but what it will do is make things a little breezy. So this evening, if you're going out for a walk or walking the dog, it's going to be a little comfortable. I would say pretty nice this evening, with winds upwards of like 20 to 25 miles an hour from the north and northeast. But despite that front, it's still going to be warm. 89 today, 87 tomorrow, and 89 on Thursday. So again, way above average for October standards in San Antonio. And here's the reason why. Here's the culprit: a huge ridge of high pressure over Mexico, over Texas. And unfortunately, next, let's say 7 days, it really doesn't do much. It just keeps us hot. But as we get closer to next week and just before Halloween, a lot of the long-range guidance is suggesting a nice little trough moving over Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. And what that will do is hopefully send us some nice cooler weather for Halloween and for trick-or-treating as well. All right, for the tropics, remember, October, it's still hurricane season. It's the latter half of the season, but you can see storms in the Atlantic and the Caribbean. Now, this is Tropical Storm Melissa. Winds are at 50 miles an hour, has a lot of storm development between, let's say, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, near Cuba, and just north of South America. Here's the latest forecast cone. It's going to be a slow-moving system, but eventually might make a run for Cuba and then ultimately towards the Bahamas as it moves farther northeast away from land. So right now, not a threat for the United States. All right, here's your extended forecast. High temperature of 89 today, sunny sky with a little bit of cloud cover here and there. 87 tomorrow, 89 on Thursday. We do have a chance for a couple of scattered storms between Friday night and Saturday morning, and we'll go from 90 to 84, so a little cooler by the first half of the weekend.
I think we actually should be looking at a pretty decent drink of some rain from that front later in the week. Now, from the first front that we're tracking, we're not going to have any rain. Certainly some cloud cover, though. Look at that sky. Cloudy sky as this front is now moving through the region. Temperatures right now, middle and upper 70s. We haven't warmed up too much from where we woke up to this morning. In fact, 76 degrees. That is exactly what we had for our morning low. We're battling now some cooler air working its way in from the north and very dry air. Dew points back down into the 40s after they were all the way up in the 70s early this morning. That front is now, it's cleared through the Austin area on its way through our southern zones and will eventually be clearing our region by the next couple hours or so, leaving us with what's going to be cooler and drier conditions as we head into later today, and the sunshine returning as well. This is our first out of two more fronts that we'll see for this week. Of course, we had that first one that moved through over this past weekend, lifted north yesterday, which is why we are so warm yesterday afternoon with those highs that soared into the middle 90s. This next front moves on through today, and then all eyes turn to what will be a late week front set to move through sometime Friday into Saturday. As I mentioned, rain chances have increased with this, so that is certainly some good news for us. Our forecast long-range models continue to indicate that we have a better potential of seeing some decent rainfall across the area, with showers and storms a little bit more widespread than previously thought. Highest chances look to be overnight Friday, so when a lot of us are asleep, we'll be tracking what could be that main line. That's what the timing is right now. We'll have to watch that changes. That main line passes on through, still leaving us with some spotty showers and storms throughout the day on Saturday to kick off the weekend as well. As far as how much rain we're expecting, this 5-day rainfall total, it takes us through Saturday. We could be looking at up to about an inch for those hill country zones. Heaviest totals look east, which is good because we have the most severe drought conditions for those areas along and east of I-35. This is where we could see a decent 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, and we certainly do need it. Some cool downs come behind these fronts as well. After a high of 95 on Monday, we fall to 88 degrees today, 86 on Wednesday. A little bit of a rebound before our next front to 90 on Thursday, and that second front moves through Friday into Saturday, leaving us with highs in the lower 80s as we head into the weekend. Out the door right now, 70s, low 80s. Front continues to work its way through the area. Clouds clear out, and then a clear sky as we head into this evening. 88 degrees for a forecast high today. We'll be looking at 60 degrees for our overnight low. Our sunset at 6:53 p.m. 60 at Camp Mabry. We have not seen 50s just yet so far this season. However, several of us will be breaking into 50s tomorrow morning. So you'll need that sweater or the jacket as you head out the door for tomorrow morning. 60 degrees, by the way, coolest low for Camp Mabry that we've seen since May 13th. We are behind schedule when it comes to our first 50-degree temperatures of the season. On average, we see that September 25th for the first time. Last year, October 16th. So we're even kind of past that point at this point in time. Tomorrow, though, it certainly is a possibility to see those 50s back with us. We'll see if we can get that cool for Camp Mabry. Algae count, ragweed medium, mold high today, 7-day forecast. That front moves through. All eyes on our second front to bring us our next best chance for showers and storms Friday into Saturday, and then we're dry again for Sunday.
So I woke up this morning, models had pulled the front in a little bit earlier when I left last night, and it got here, went out to run this morning basically thinking, ooh, it's going to be a little bit windy, kind of dry and cooler. No, it was warm, it was muggy my whole run. So the front was lagging behind just a little bit, but it's now here. Wind sustained at 15 out of the north right now and 75 degrees in Temple. So temperatures a little bit lower than yesterday. Now this isn't going to cause for some super cold day or anything, but it is going to keep us from reaching 90s this afternoon in the next couple of days, so that is nice. We do have that elevated risk, so a higher risk for grass fires to pop up. Absolutely don't want to be burning brush anywhere across central Texas today. Winds were gusting up to 25 yesterday. They're doing the same thing today, just out of the north instead of the south. Very low humidity levels, so we have all the conditions in place to see those grass fires pop up and spread very quickly, essentially. So again, that's the main thing for today. You could tell where the front is currently situated near Caldwell College Station and headed off towards the Gulf Coast rather quickly now. 70s for the entirety of our viewing area right now. We're like 50s and 60s up in North Texas. They saw the front move through last night, and then you can see it's a balmy 85 degrees down in Houston right now. Front is basically draped across our southeastern counties right now. Unfortunately, no rainfall. Some models yesterday had pulled in some sprinkles, especially southeast. It looks like the Great great majority of anything that is hitting the ground is outside of our viewing area over in far east Texas. So it will be dry the rest of today. No other chance for rainfall. High temperatures this afternoon. I mentioned we won't hit 90. That's good news. 84 Temple, 85 Waco, 82 Hamilton, 86 Hearn. Just not the best day to set up a tea time. It's going to be very windy out there, gusting up to 25 miles an hour this afternoon all the way through late tonight. Still going to see some 20, 25 mile an hour gusts. Winds won't calm down until tomorrow. So Saturday and Sunday, we had a wind shift. We had a south wind, then a north wind. Monday, we were back out of the south. Today, we're out of the north. Tomorrow, we're back out of the south. And then we have another cold front in the 7-day forecast. So I've been mentioning for about a day now, because we're seeing this daily or 24, 48 hour wind shift change. If you have allergies, if ragweed bothers you, and it does me, if hay bothers you, and it does me, it's probably messing with your allergies a little bit, this wind shifting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over and over again. But again, it's about the windy day today and that risk for wildfires to pop up, grass fires to pop up. We are slightly cooler for a couple of days in the, I would say, lower to middle 80s for high temperatures, so still trending above the average, by the way. Tonight, tomorrow morning is going to be slightly cooler than what we were waking up to today. Dry air in place for Wednesday, and we warm up into the lower to middle 80s, stay rain-free, but not for long. Here's the good news. Regional Futurecast pulls in rain starting Thursday in the PM hours, but for the most part, most of us stay dry on Thursday. Different story for Friday, and yes, this could impact Friday night lights. About a 50% chance, so the highest we've seen in several weeks, that Friday and Saturday, and there could be some heavy pockets of rain is what this particular model is showing, and I did pull 2 of them, and both of them were actually showing multiple rounds of rain Friday into Saturday. Saturday night, we're going to clear out from west to east. Future rainfall trending more the further east that you go. So I-35 right here, for some reason it's not pulling in the county lines, but you can see even our western counties, it's pulling in slightly more over the next 7 days, upwards of maybe an inch in pockets. Now, don't take this too seriously and think I'm for sure getting 2 inches at my house if you're east. It's just signaling a higher likelihood that you see higher rain totals. We now have Tropical Storm Melissa to talk about. Melissa looks to be deflected and not come into the Gulf, but it is headed, that new tropical storm, towards the northwest and then eventually likely towards the north. Just something to watch over the next few days or so. Brand new, fresh, hot off the press weather impact alert is going to be valid for both Friday and Saturday. We have a decent shot to see some heavy pockets of rainfall, thunderstorm activity as well that could disrupt your outdoor plans.
It is October, and we are looking at where we tend to see tropical development during the month of October. And what I want to point out is right in the Caribbean Sea is where we are expecting some development in really today. We could get a named storm today. We'll show you where that storm is right now. But where these storms tend to go is up to the north, and they could curve through portions of the Caribbean and South Florida and the Florida Panhandle as it takes its way up, or really the Florida Peninsula more than the Panhandle, as it takes its way back out to sea toward Bermuda. This curve has a lot to do with dips in the jet stream, low pressure systems, cold fronts curving these systems back out to sea, and it pretty much keeps Texas away from the tropical activity as we head into October. It's not impossible, but it becomes less and less likely, and those fronts are one of a big reason why. Now, that's not to say once we get a cold front we're done with tropical systems. That's not always true, but they do help steer the systems if the timing is right. They steer them back out to sea. Now, the next storm on our list is Melissa. Tropical Wave Invest 98L would likely be Melissa, possibly as early as 10 a.m. this morning. So we'll keep you up to date on our website, through KIIITV.com. So check it out there. But the tropical overview, here's our tropical wave. It is looking very healthy in terms of convection right here, just south of Puerto Rico in the Caribbean Sea. This is very warm water too, by the way. So this extra warm water is going to help provide fuel for this storm. But as I mentioned, you'll see there's a frontal boundary hanging out near Florida, and the system, it's going to move kind of slow. That's kind of a problem for it. It may be able to dodge front number 1, but with the next storm system heading into next week, that will likely easily start to curve it to the north if it does survive in the Caribbean a little bit longer than that. So that's what we're tracking in the tropics. By the way, we're past the date that is the latest landfalling hurricane on record for the Texas coastline. October 16th, that's the last time a tropical or a hurricane, not a tropical storm, not a tropical depression, but a hurricane has been recorded hitting the Texas coastline, and it did hit near Baffin Bay back in 1912, so that was a long time ago. As far as our frontal boundaries go now, we've got one that is expected to impact the northern coastal bend by this evening. We'll see a few spotty showers there across Bee County, Live Oak County, Refugio County as early as 7 p.m. this evening, but it's going to be very isolated. That rain is not a guarantee. This front stalls out, lifts back north as a warm front as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. So as it does so, that puts us back in a warm and humid climate, warm and humid environment. We may be a little cooler tomorrow and even Thursday with more cloud coverage in the area, but Thursday we're nice and humid once again. There is a moisture stream that sets up into Friday ahead of the next cold front. Now this cold front originated in the Pacific. So, and by Pacific, I don't mean north near Alaska. I mean further south near the coast, off the coast of Southern California. So what this front is going to do, it's going to barely change temperatures, but it is going to help increase rainfall. So you do see a decent amount of rain from I-37 up toward Houston and then along the Louisiana border and up into Arkansas. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, is this cold front providing us with a decent shot of rain. Rainfall chances are actually trending pretty high as we head into Saturday. But look what happens by Tuesday. We've got cooler air that's going to come down and drier air that's going to come down. This low pressure system originated a little bit more to the north, so it's tapping into more of that continental air. There is a chance of rain heading into Tuesday of next week, but also this is a front that may actually give us a chance of dropping our temperatures. So as I mentioned, with the cold fronts, there's a teeny chance of rain on Wednesday. Don't count on it. Very spotty. Saturday rain chances go up, but they're better for areas north and east of I-37. So you'll see that here on our rainfall forecast. Scattered storms, here's I-37, scattered storms to the northeast, not as much activity to the south, right? And so it's going to be more isolated, a better shot closer to the Victoria Crossroads region. So just to highlight, everything you need to know is it is still hot for now, but we are trending cooler next week with a small drop in temperatures tomorrow. And by small drop, I mean we're going from 96 today to 90 for a high tomorrow. A bigger drop is possible next Tuesday. I don't want to get into the details of that just yet because it can still change. We're going to keep ironing out those details as they get closer. But yeah, today it's going to be a hot one. We're talking 96 degrees, lots of sunshine, wind out of the southeast there, 10 to 12 miles per hour, but some gusts could be a little stronger, especially as that front gets a little closer. We could have some 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts. So keep that in mind, especially for any coastal activities. Here's that drop, 96 to 90. So not a big drop, but a little drop. And then we'll stay around 90 as we head into the week ahead and the weekend. Now we still start off next week pretty hot. And by the way, if we record 90 degrees every single day that is expected, then we're going to totally break the record of 20 days at or above 90 in October. We're already up to 17. We'll likely record 18 today. The other days we will be flirting with that 90-degree mark, but it's looking pretty good. As far as our cold front headlines go, it is again a little cooler tomorrow. Still hot though through Monday. Our rain is trending up for Saturday, and then we've got a stronger north wind heading into next week with cooler temperatures that are set up to follow. So here's your 7-day forecast right now, where we are looking at temperatures that are in the 90s. 96 degrees your high today. As I mentioned, Wednesday, small chance of rain. That really starts tonight. So tonight, heading into Wednesday morning, some of the best opportunities of rain, and then possibly again Wednesday night into Thursday morning. As we get into Friday, we're starting to see the next storm system approaching, and Saturday is when a cold front will move through, but it's a Pacific front. Don't expect a big drop in temperatures, but 40% chance of rain. That's really our best shot of rainfall coming up.